My name is Derek Ergle, and this is Project 2 Data Driven Improvement Project for IL 711. We're going to look at a curriculum improvement plan for my school. Some goals for the improvement plan will be to create plans to ensure that students are receiving step-by-step, year-by-year, scaffolded curriculum. We also want to promote collaboration, teamwork, and research-based approaches to vertically aligned curriculum in grades 6 through 12. When looking at the assessment of need and analysis, according to a 2016 RHS faculty survey, 17% of teachers feel that they did not have opportunities for dialogue and planning across grades and subject areas. 22% of teachers did not feel that teachers spent a considerable amount of time planning together. According to a 2017 RHS faculty survey, 32% of teachers feel that they did not have opportunities for dialogue and planning across grades and subject. Vertical alignment efforts were started in 2015 and 2016 school year, but were not completed. Let's look at some steps for improvement. I believe that we should set up a series of meetings to fulfill the teacher's needs. These meetings are designed to provide opportunities for dialogue and planning across grade levels and within subject areas. The meetings are spread out over the period of a calendar year, and these meetings should focus on the areas such as content, student knowledge, teacher questions, and content deficiencies. When looking at the first vertical team meeting, we should always focus on introductions, content discussions, and explanations of what the next vertical team meetings will be about. When looking at the vertical team meeting 2, we should focus on a question. What knowledge and skills and dispositions do we want our students to acquire as a result of this course or grade level? This question is answered by clarifying to teachers in the grade level above what they consider skills and knowledge and students must have as they enter their grade level. In short, we must conduct a skills needs assessment inventory from grade level to grade level. Vertical team meeting 3 question should focus on how do we know our students have acquired the attended knowledge and skills, what assessments already exist, and what assessments need to be created in order to monitor student learning as they make the transition from one course or grade level to the next. For example, if the 6th grade team has identified certain math skills as essential for students to master prior to entering 6th grade, then the 5th and 6th grade teams should work together to create assessments that provide evidence of student proficiency. The vertical team should examine that evidence and discuss ways to strengthen the results. In vertical team meeting 4, the question should focus on what evidence or data can one grade level gather about student learning that could be helpful to the next grade level. The statement, "these kids don't know how to write," is not helpful. 40% of the students struggle with making transitions between paragraphs could be very helpful to a team focusing its efforts on ways to benefit students. Before starting to look at results from benchmark tests, specific areas should also be reviewed, such as student motivation and disposition in a particular content area, how concepts and essential skills are introduced and commonly taught across the middle and high school grades, redundancy, teaching strategies being used, and to what frequency. Let's make sure that we get objective data to analyze as well as our benchmark test when we're looking at ways or evidence that we can use to help. When reflecting back on this plan, we should always make sure the project meets targeted performance in planning, assessment, and reflection. Plans should always help to identify areas of improvement for all core levels of instruction, and this will impact all learners, including at-risk and English language learners. I think it's important that we always involve our community stakeholders in things that we do at school, especially in ways that we can improve our curriculum. Oftentimes, many school districts have used teacher and parent conferences to discuss ways in which they can encourage learning and promote instruction. Another good example of a way to include community stakeholders is to send out surveys. A lot of times we gather a lot of information from our parents just by sending out a simple survey that asks questions about how, in what ways we can improve the learning experience at school. And also, we should always make sure that we include parents in any way possible. We want them to be involved in what we do at school. We want them to feel that they belong. You see this especially in smaller communities when the school means so much to the community and the community means so much to the school. So it's important to involve our stakeholders in all of our plans, especially involving our curriculum. Let's look at some possible weaknesses and negative outcomes from the plan. We should always make sure that more time must be given in order for vertical team meetings to be more effective. Sometimes we limit these meetings to 10-15 minutes. We should make sure that we schedule these meetings in a way that we will have plenty of time to discuss what needs to be discussed. Also, at times we should open the meeting to all core teachers and not just subject affiliated. Sometimes we have some teachers that have some valuable input in not just their own subject area. So I think this is important. And 2, we must present the subject matter to be discussed ahead of time and not just immediately before the meetings. I think it's important to give teachers the opportunity to prepare and be ready to discuss anything that needs to be discussed in the meetings. And oftentimes on short notice we sometimes forget things that we want to talk about. So these could be some possible weaknesses and negative outcomes of the plan. We just need to make sure that we address these. There are many possible strengths and positive outcomes that can come from this curriculum plan. Faculty members from both schools will have opportunities to meet each other and discuss student needs and transfer information about current cohorts to the teachers that they will have next year. Teachers will identify areas of need and develop plans to improve and vertically align their curriculum. And also, taking the time to organize notes and give out to teachers can be very beneficial and help teachers stay on target. And also, another one that I don't have listed is this is a great time for teachers to build relationships with other teachers, with parents, and with any other community stakeholders. I personally believe that the building of teacher relationships means so much to the school atmosphere. When you have teachers that are able to go to each other to discuss ways to improve curriculum, discuss ways to improve instruction, it benefits the entire community. And we want to have teachers on staff that have positive relationships with one another. We don't want anything to come in the way of student learning. We want students to always feel welcome at school, feel safe at school. And by having teachers meet on these vertical teams, we can help build this type of culture. It's always important that we use data to drive instruction. And I believe through this plan that teachers have the opportunity to examine the data and to improve ways in which they develop learning in their classrooms. I want to thank you. My name is Derek Erble, and this plan was developed for IL 711.